In partnership with KBW, we are at Nasdaq's market site celebrating KBW's 24th annual Community Bank Investor Conference. My name is Christina Ayanian, and joining me today is Chief Banking Officer of Five Star Bank, Mike Rizzo. Mike, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Christina.
Now, tell me about Five Star Bank's story. What is your mission, and how do you play that mission in your everyday operations?
Okay, so, in 1999, which is not that long ago, we had a group of business leaders in Sacramento, California, who decided they wanted to help other business leaders and really to grow Sacramento. And so they decided to start Five Star Bank. And so during that time, the mission, again, was to really help grow Sacramento into something that's more than it was. And so today's vision is more of that, right? So it's really more not just Sacramento anymore, though. So we have Sacramento and all north state of California. So the idea is to kind of grow all those local economies that we are present. And, you know, we have often said that being in Northern California bank, and the vision today is kind of to be the premier Northern California bank, is you have to be in the Bay Area. So what's exciting for us right now is that we've hired a group of bankers out of San Francisco. So I have bankers in San Francisco. It's exciting for me because I'm originally from San Francisco. Our CEO and myself started our careers in San Francisco, so it's not foreign to us, and it's kind of coming back home for me. And it's just another place that we can help grow the economy. And so our tagline in San Francisco, by the way, is "We believe in San Francisco." It's had a lot of bad press, but it's not always what it seems, right?
So you're really prioritizing local investments to drive growth. Why is that so important?
Well, you know, like I mentioned, you know, the bank itself and the leaders of Sacramento created Five Star Bank for the purpose of growing the economy. And so they just saw there was an opportunity there that for a strong business bank to come into play, one that is understands those markets really, and can play in the commercial real estate world in all flavors, can play in the business world, all flavors of business, and then some ag, because we are in Sacramento, and that's a big agricultural area of California.
Absolutely. What role do banks play in serving your local community?
Oh gosh, I would just say that more of the same. Serving the local community is what we do, right? And maybe going to the idea that our people within the bank are very involved personally in the community, whether that's through volunteerism or being on boards or just being part of the community. So again, we service mostly business and commercial real estate. So it's all being part of those businesses and having those customers have access, really, I think is a lot of it, have access to decision makers that can make decisions today quickly. You're
serving as a catalyst for economic activity in your community in that
Absolutely.
sense. Are there any specific case studies that you can show being that bridge between your community and the investments?
Yeah, well, yes, I would tell you that it's kind of it's a great thing and it's not a great thing. And then when I say that, I mean, we've had a lot of companies that have started from, every company, I always say, starts very small, right? From zero. So we've had companies in Sacramento that have grown tremendously. And we've seen that growth, and we've been part of that growth. We've helped fuel that growth through financing. But then the sad part of it, but the good part also, is that those companies get bought out, and so it's a great exit for the employees of those companies as well as the owners of those companies, of course, right? But sometimes we've had, and this has happened several times in this last year actually, we've been able to retain those customers of the acquiring company, which has been great. But that's kind of like, that's the epitome of the life cycle, right? It's, we've had we grew them. You grew these people, and you have such a connection with them, and you watch them go through this process that is so profound, and then they have this big liquidity event. Who then they go ahead and invest in other companies in the region, which helps spur more economic activity, which is the ultimate.
And like you said, they end up coming back. So you've really proven yourself as that trusted financial partner.
Yes, that to me is the ultimate. When the acquiring company decides, they say, we want to actually bank with the company that bank with that we acquired bank, the acquirees bank, I guess. That is to me, is really a compliment.
Absolutely. What is that differentiating factor of Five Star Bank with other local community banks?
I like to tell people, we always tell people our organic growth story. What that really means is that we have 21 biz dev people out on the street, and those people have them and the rest of the bank have a purpose. Purpose is to grow relationships and bring them into the bank, right? So, and I think that the strategic advantage that we may have is the front end people, our biz dev people, and our back end people understand the purpose of the bank, and that's to, again, to bring in new relationships and service existing relationships to help fuel organic growth. So what we've done is, there's a sense of urgency that's part of our culture. Sometimes we call it our speed to serve is really what we call it, but it's a sense of urgency, and it permeates the entire bank. So what I think is unique, and again, our strategic advantage, is that we are able to bring in new relationships, and they experience that culture of, oh gosh, they're really wanting to get this done. So do I. It's like we're on the same page. And so it just has been a culminating effect of positivity. I mean, it's been great. So,
you're growing alongside your clients as well.
And my day-to-day job is to make sure that keeps going.
That's incredible. It must be so rewarding. Yeah. Mike, thank you so much for joining us. We look forward to having you back and continue following your story. Thanks for the partnership.
Christina.